In this video, I'm going to be talking about rates. Let's look at rates. Now, rates are very unique in Cenium as you have a wide array of flexibility. Let's just go ahead and set up a rate called rack rate. Now, as you can see here, we're going to go over bar before we set that up just to kind of show you an overview of what a rate actually looks like here. So let's look at bar. Now, bar is a dynamic rate, meaning it can fluctuate on levels and you're able to change it on the fly. So basically it is tiered here. If you look at any of these others as corporate or even discovery lift ticket, since it does not say dynamic rate, this is a static rate. So it is a fixed rate of $39 and $42. So let's look at a dynamic rate. So here in general, let's go over this here. You have the property, you have the name of the rate. This is called bar. The description is best available rate. The price type is accommodation, as bar is an accommodation rate. Status is published. I will show you this when we actually create a rack rate on how to publish a rate, and we will be using these fields up here. All right. A version. So basically, this is what version does. So you see this version says 3.32. I'm going to go in here and just change this rate to 825. And as you can see, the version number changed to 3.33. So basically, anytime you make a change in rates on that specific rate, the version will change. So you know that it is constantly being monitored and you're able to see how often the rates are actually being changed. Dynamic rate. This is locked. Since you created this rate as a dynamic rate, this is here just for a view to show you that this is a dynamic rate. Show and availability. This is for availability in the system itself. So if you would like to show this rate code as available to sell, you would want to show an availability. Available for daily Swift booking. So if you're utilizing Swift bookings, then you would want it to be available for Swift bookings as well. All these over here are blank. However, you do have the flexibility of associating a bar rate or any type of rate to a market segment, a target group, a source of business. You can associate a deposit rule to a rate. So if we were to discount a rate 10% or 25%, and you had the restriction on if you were to book a discount rate, then it will be non-cancelable and non-refundable, and you can associate 100% deposit there, and that will make that a non-refundable rate. Cancellation rule. You can also associate different cancellation rules to different rates. Authorization add-on. So basically what that does is if you would like to associate additional either percentage or fixed amount on top of what you're charging for, let's say for example a standard room, then you can do so here. And icon is pretty self-explanatory. It just changes this little icon here on the right, and you will see that here. And that's all that does. Let me just change that back to hotel. Color, you can change the color here. You could choose what color you would like to show at the time of creating. And you can also hide this rate from reports. And if this rate is extracted from an external system, so if you have something integrated into Cenium and that's pulling rates into Cenium, then this is where you this is what you check as it pulls the rate from an external system. These are the levels. So since this is a dynamic rate, we currently have the bar 2 level set, which has a value of 90%. So it takes 90% of this rate here and publishes that rate. You can associate different yield buckets. You are able to override these rates. and I will show you that here in a little while. Housekeeping. So if you have a standard service template that you would like to associate with this rate, then you could do that here. And also, if you would like to override the housekeeping service. So for example, if you have a VIP rate and you would only like a VIP service with that VIP rate, then you would associate that here. So every time the VIP rate is booked, the standard template that's used is going to be the VIP service. All right? Let's go ahead and create a rate. So we're going to go ahead and create a dynamic rate. Now, everything that I do for dynamic is going to be, excuse me, it's going to be just as simple for static rate. The difference between dynamic and static, as you may know, static is one standard rate, and dynamic has the flexibility of going up and down on rates on the fly. All right. So I need to create an accommodation rate that's associated with accommodation rooms. We're going to be using the template for bar. Now, what this will do is this will pull in everything that you have for bar, and it'll pull in that from that bar template. All right. So I'm going to call this rack. All right. So we're going to have this at 110%, and we're going to have this at 100%. Now, basically what I did was bar level 1, what this will do is it'll take 110% of the rate and show that rate. Bar 2 will show 100% of the rate. Basically, if I have $100 published, 110% will say, okay, well, the rate tonight is $110. 80% will show, okay, the rate tonight is $80. So these are the different levels. The base level I'm going to choose is going to be 100%. Let's add a rate code line to this rate. So we need to choose a price group. Let's choose a standard room. Let's go ahead and associate a deluxe room with this. Associate a superior and also a suite. I'm going to delete that last one. At least one price must be specified for all rate code lines. So let's go ahead and say we're charging $150 for one adult, $150 for two, and each adult that we add, we're going to increase the price by $10. So $160, $170. Now in a standard room, we're going to say that the maximum amount of adults are going to be 4. So all you would do is leave these blank. That way, if we were to do a search during the package reservations and search for 5 adults, then standard would not show up. Since there's no rate associated, that just means that that doesn't have the capability of rooming 5 adults. A deluxe, let's charge a little bit more for a duck, so let's say 160, 160, 70, 180. Superior, a suite. All right. On a suite, we can have up to 6 adults. So let's go ahead and add. And we are not charging for any children. All right. Let's go ahead and find rack rate here. There it is. All right. So as you can see, this is the rack rate we created. We have these associated room types: standard, deluxe, superior, and suite. We have these prices associated with this rack rate. We want to show this in availability. We want it to be available for swift booking. All right. Let's save this. Now, once this rate is created and you are fairly comfortable with the setup, then what you can do is go ahead and publish this rate. Now, what this publish rate will do is that this is live and this is bookable. As you can see, it changed from this being blank to version 1.0.